What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel, where today I am talking about She-Hulk Attorney at Law Episode 1, titled A Normal Amount of Rage. I'm going to get into some spoiler talk and things about this episode, this series. So if you don't want spoilers, make sure that you've watched the episode. Also, make sure that you subscribe. Click the little bell and click the little all button so you get all those notifications anytime I've uploaded new content. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it. Although I haven't given you anything to dislike yet, but make sure to do that by the end of the video. And also make sure you leave all of your thoughts about my terrible opinions down in the comments below. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. So, She-Hulk episode 1, Attorney at Law. I thought this episode, it was okay. I mean, we're talking about a character here. I mean, probably not the most popular character in the comics or anything like that. That I would surmise. I'm not saying that there's not fans out there or people that are big fans or anything. I'm sure there are. Like, it's always so funny when people say like, "Oh, no, nobody likes this character." And we're like, remember when Taskmaster came out? Like, nobody ever even cared about this character. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Just because you didn't, but anyway, so I thought the episode was pretty good. They obviously changed some things here in this I guess you would say the origins of She-Hulk from what she was in the comics, and I mean, to kind of fit what is going on in the MCU and things like that, obviously, where I mean, I think it was everything. This seemed okay. I mean, there's obviously some plot convenience here when she gets her powers, because there's like this little Bruce Banner has this little thing on his arm that basically keeps him in check from turning into the Hulk, and like I think it busts open and like he's like the blood is in there or some stuff like that, and it gets in her blood, and she becomes the She-Hulk. Okay, now I think it's a little funny, just like I mean, I'm not saying a little drop can't do anything, like, but it gets in there and like immediately, like it's that quick. Which I mean, I guess that's kind of how is that how it would go? I don't know. It's a mutation anyway. But, they mentioned something, too, about their unique gene structure and everything, too, later, which is, kind of goes into the whole, makes me think about Ms. Marvel. Makes me think about the Ms. Marvel show thing. I know everybody's convinced that she's a mutant now. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, right? Anyway. But, I mean, it's a little bit of plot convenience. But if you watch this show and think there's plot convenience there, and for some of the other things as well, I mean, hey, go read the comic book, The Savage She-Hulk. Me and the channel members, we just actually read it the other day on a stream. But, like, there's some total plot convenience there. Like, Bruce Banner just happens to be in town when his cousin is getting targeted by the mob that she is basically building a case against, and has people that are going to basically rat out this guy, the leader here, and they send some hitmen out to kill her. And conveniently, Bruce Banner is in town that day before he's getting ready to skip town and go live in wherever and get away from the police because he's a wanted man. And, conveniently, he's there on that day that she's about to she has a hit put out on her, and they go to kill her, and she ends up getting shot, and he conveniently remembers they got the same blood type. And, conveniently, there's a doctor that lives right next door to where she lives, and he goes there and, takes her there and gives her a blood transfusion and, like, takes off. And, right, like, don't tell me there's not a lot of plot convenience there. So, I mean, we see her become the Hulk, then we get into, there's some cheesy stuff in here, too. Like, I know there's, like, I see some people out there talking about, like, it's like this hyper-feminism and all this stuff in the show, and I'm like, I mean, I get, you could construe it as that, sure. I mean, there's some feminist, I guess, kind of stuff in here. I mean, because we get to this bar, and she sneaks into the restroom, clean herself up after she hulked out, and, she kind of don't really remember what happened. And she thinks it was like a fever dream, and she's, gets there in the bathroom. She's all cleaning herself up. These other women go in there, and they think that she's been assaulted or abused by her boyfriend or girlfriend or, whoever it may be. And they give her a little jacket, they fix her up, clean her up, make her look okay and presentable, and they're like, okay, like, go take care of yourself. And then she's sitting there waiting for her ride. and in front of this bar, and plot convenience, she's at a bar, and these guys start hitting on her. They're just being a little pushy. I mean, and she hulks out, and like, like okay, like I'm sure people still are drunk idiots at the bar, probably every weekend. So, I mean, I guess this is something I hear. I hear people complaining about these things. I'm like, I'm sure that happens quite often. Well, like let's face it. I mean, there's a lot of bars in the United States. You know what I'm saying? And well, anyway, the point being is, I don't know. I didn't really see like a lot of some of the other stuff in the show as well. Some of the the feminist type stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of being told from a woman's point of view. Now there is some stuff in here. Some I guess jokes made about Steve Rogers and stuff like that, about his virginity and stuff like that in here, which, yeah, I mean, it's cheesy, it's stupid. I could really care less, but I mean, it is supposed to be a comedy. I'm sure somebody finds it humorous, so I mean, it's whatever. Though I will say when she's sitting there making jokes and asking Bruce about it, he's like, where'd you hear that? And she's like, oh, the History Channel, which isn't the History Channel the one who put out the article where they were saying that that Stan Lee created the X-Men and Professor X and Magneto after the Civil Rights Movement? I know, like you can find the article out there, and like anybody who really knows that's wholly not true. So I mean, yeah, I guess they're a credible source, Jennifer Walters. Yeah, go check out the History Channel. Yeah, they couldn't be wrong about anything. So, we say, oh, we've seen the little ship. There's a little ship there, too, from Sakaar, and they were sending him a message. This is probably that he has a son, and he's being a deadbeat dad, and he needs to get back to Sakaar and take care of his son. Take care of his son, because he's got his son, Scar. Hey, if you want to know more about that, you should check out my man, Kendall, over at Normies to Nerds. He did a video about that. And, I mean, what else would they be reaching out to him for? I mean, sending him a message. I don't know. Obviously, they're there to collect some child support, right? I'm kidding. Anyway, so, all this stuff, like, I'm kind of, I've went off the beaten path here, right? Went off the beaten path. So she goes, like, she ends up getting taken to to Mexico. Bruce comes and finds her, and, she wakes up in Mexico, and he's sitting there, and he starts training her to be a Hulk. She don't want to be a Hulk. He talks a little bit about Tony Stark and how he got the lab. This is the Gamma Lab that he was that they was talking about, where he spent 18 months in the Gamma Lab, right? So he, we kind of get some of that. They built a bar together that Tony was mostly drinking at, crying about Steve, and yeah, I mean, get into that. He starts training her to be a Hulk. Apparently she can't be good at yoga. If she's good at yoga, if she's good at yoga and being Zen, like this is more plot convenience. It's more plot convenience, like, I don't know. I'm willing to bet there's a lot of women out there that are probably way better at yoga than I am, and probably being way more fucking Zen than me. I'm just saying. So, anyway, we see the kind of it wasn't even a training montage. This is what most of the show was that. And then, because it started off where she was giving a little lawyer speech, like a closing arguments if she was in court. And then it kind of gets back to that after we get her little backstory and how her and Bruce, these cousins who are like the bestest of friends, yet haven't seen each other in a while, how they just, they're so close, and they got in some little fights and everything. I don't know. I mean, it was okay. Then, we get to towards the end, and she's there being a lawyer, and she's in court. And this is when, Titania comes, and she breaks through, and she looks like freaking, she looks like the Ultimate Warrior kicking through this, kicking through this wall like she was the Kool-Aid Man. It was pretty funny. And then at the very end, we also get more of the Captain America stuff, and I know some of these things are like kind of upsetting people out there and everything, like look, you can look at who's kind of like what the show kind of is and be like, yeah, they're gonna. It's probably the kind of show that, like, if you watched other shows that were similar to this, there's probably jokes made in there. You're probably like, yeah, I don't find it very funny or humorous. I mean, so I would say the show fits in like exactly kind of where it's supposed to fit in within the context of the show, right? It's supposed to be a lawyer show, right? It's supposed to be comedy. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of things to be said for that. But altogether, this first episode, it was okay. It wasn't great. I'll give it a good-ish. It was decent. Okay, it was decent. I would say the show, out of anything, it's probably somewhere around it's probably like a 6. You know, it's probably like a 6. You know, like not quite mid, maybe just a little bit better than the mid, but you know, it's got some okay stuff in it. But I feel like a lot of the shows are that way anyway, you know? I think there's plenty of these other series that have way better episode 1s. I mean, you could take a look at WandaVision. I think episode 1 of that was good. Your Falcon Winter Soldier, that first episode, that was a pretty good episode. You know, you think about Loki. That was alright. That was okay. You know, it was okay. It was kind of we got quite a bit of information there, and pretty much about all we needed besides the last episode in that one, right? So, so there's that. You know, like Hawkeye. You know, we're not even going to talk about What If, but Hawkeye. You know, the first episode, thought it was a pretty good one. You know, you get into Moon Knight. The Moon Knight one was pretty right. It kind of got you all curious, right? It did. And obviously Ms. Marvel, you know, like I think there were ones that are like Ms. Marvel, I think is one of the better ones along with WandaVision as far as like being really, you know, actually Falcon and Winter Soldier, that one, you know, those episode 1s were really good. Loki, I would say, I'll give Loki, it was really good compared to this. But this also, like, I would say like Ms. Marvel is kind of at, you know, aimed at, you know, a certain audience as well that's, you know, like more focused on them, like you would say Ms. Marvel was, you know, for like preteen girls in that sense, not necessarily somebody like me, but I still think it's one of the better series, probably if not the best series that they've done out of all of these series for what it is. And this one, I mean, I think could be doing that same thing. Again, I think there's probably going to be comedy in here, jokes that not everybody's going to like, and things like that. I mean, that's kind of how comedy is and kind of how it works. I mean, because like people talk about Thor, Love and Thunder, and you know, like the comedy and the humor in it, and I'm like, I didn't really see much humor in it. Like, that's like, I don't find that funny. But anyway, like regardless, I mean, I guess comedy is like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder, right? So, I mean, the show, I thought overall, it was okay. Like I said, it was about a 6. It was about a 6, which, you know, it gets me into this other thing. Everybody's out there talking about review bombing. They're review bombing the review bombing She-Hulk. Oh, because it's so feminist, because the whammons and blah 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 blah. You see all this stuff, and you see all these things. You know, people go and you gotta show their little charts of what everybody's you know, grading it as. These 30-year-old males out there that are these 30-year-old white males that are review bombing this show. Okay, well, like go look at the reviews and like look, where's most of the people lie at? And it's probably like it's 1s and 10s because that's how everybody out there ranks everything. Y'all people just like. Everybody just like, oh, like, it's the greatest. This is a 10. Or, it's a 1. It's the worst ever. You know, like when, like, I believe more of the people when I see, like, the people that fall there in that mid-range. When I see people ranking a lot of things, maybe 4 stars to, you know, maybe like 7 or 8 on normal when they're, you know, if you look at what they rank a lot of stuff, like, okay, you know what, I might actually believe what you're saying. If you do everything ranked at a 9 or a 10 or a 1 or a 2, I can't take you serious. You're one of those hot, cold people, and that's just not quite how it works. But it also makes me think about and question your judgment when it comes to rating a show or a movie and what your thoughts are on what you're actually thinking about when it comes to these kind of things, you know. And like there's a lot of arguments out there that people like you know, I'm not even going to get into some of the arguments people have, but I mean I thought the show, it was okay-ish, a 6. It's not great. It's okay. It's decent. You know, it's watchable. We'll see how the rest of the series progresses, because let's not act like all of these shows have been the best either. You know, there's some of them that have been good. There's others that have been, so-so. I think this one is right there, just kind of in the, it's all right. You know, we'll see how episode 2 goes. We'll see how the whole series goes. And I think that's something to be said of the series anyway, is to watch the whole series and see how it ends up, not just one episode. Because through a lot of these, I think there's, you know, like one episode, maybe 2 episodes that are really great in each one of these series. And a lot of them just kind of, they're all right. Like, I think WandaVision was the most solid one. Probably still my favorite. But I still think Ms. Marvel is probably the best done one for what it was trying to do, what it did, and things like that. Aside from the power change and stuff like that, and you know, people thinking she's a mutant now, even though they didn't say it. They got to say it. But regardless of all that, I thought the show was okay. You know, it was decent. You know, but and the review bombing thing, like, come on, man. That's how y'all rate movies. But that's just if you ask me. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. That's all I've got for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell and all that good stuff. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. That's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. That's why you can leave a comment down in the comment section to try and do just that. But you all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.